Kingdom of Power is back on my server, and finally we have an amazing matchup of 1455 my server versus 1433, which has multiple whales almost just as strong as True, who has almost 2 billion power on my server. So this is going to be an amazing KvK, and I have been saving for months. So I will also go over everything that I have saved up for this KvK and that I will of course be using now that we finally have a worthy opponent. So first of all, a look at 1455. This is what it looks like alliance wise. We have 3 major alliances with a lot of power divided up pretty evenly, except of course the main alliance, which has True in it. Now this will be our 5th KvK, so this is going to be my 2nd on this server, and here is True, also of course the biggest whale of the server at almost 2 billion power with hundreds of thousands of dollars spent probably. Now in terms of power, you also see that we have multiple whales of very high caliber. This is no news. 1455 is probably one of the highest power kingdom in the surrounding servers, especially with the last transfer where many high player powers came to this server. The top 10, as you can see, all have this border. I mean, even the top 12. Now, as I said in the previous video, which I recommend you watching regarding power, this screen is pretty much useless in terms of power. It just shows you number, which can be troop. You are going to look at the Mystic Trial to have a good idea of the actual power of anyone, because Mystic Trial gives you a great overview of every aspect of the game individually. So hero gear, research, pets, all that kind of stuff is divided up in there. And if a whale is not holding back, it will show their true power no matter what. Now you'll see that True is at 2642 and everybody else is in the 2300 behind him, and then a lot of people in the 2000-ish. So this gives you a good snapshot between the last one here at 1795 and, you know, over 6 players in the 2000, but also True himself in 2600. Now let's take a look at 1433. They have a similar setup as us, though they have, I guess 4 alliances that are kind of active, but 2 mega alliances with a lot of power, the top one being Master of Destiny, and they also have plenty of high powered players. Now we will look at the personal power, and it looks quite different because there is no True here with a billion plus power, but everything else is pretty similar with many people in the top 20 with both the frame as well as hundreds of millions of power. Again, we will look now at the Mystic Trial to have a real idea of what power looks like, and it is pretty close. Now True is still ahead of Gray and Alton Dread by a little bit for sure, like at about 200 stage or 150 stages. Now many people are going to push during this KvK, so these could get kind of like closer together because True is pretty close to like the max on a lot of things, like such as hero gear and governor gear and stuff like that. Like there's some point where you can't really get further until a new month comes in and new stuff unlocks on the Kingshot game. So there is going to be a very close one there. And you can see that while True is ahead of the top 2 here, afterwards their top 2 is ahead of our number 2 and number 3. And if you look at the top 10, it's pretty dead even. Like the last 10 player is at 1700. They have 6 players in the 2000. They have multiple player above 2200, more than us really. So it is going to be a very good fight, I believe. Even though True does have an edge on the number 1, they have an edge on the number 2 and number 3. So with the strategy that I've shown in my previous KvK video, where you have double and triple rallies and stuff, they are definitely more than capable of taking True out of the middle with double rallies and triple rallies, and as well as holding for a while. And of course we will also need to do these strategies, then towers. There is going to be a great fight ahead in my opinion. Now one last thing about this KvK matchup, 1455 and 1333 have matched up in their first ever KvK many months ago, I guess 4 or 5 months ago. And of course 1455 won that battle. True was overwhelming in power, however I believe it was still a good fight. And 1433 has also gotten massive recruitment from the last event of server transfer, and they are now, I would say, pretty much on the even field in terms of being just as powerful of a server as ours. So it is, in my opinion, very good because it's a rematch, which is nice to see that there can be rematch this quickly into the game. but also it is going to be a very good fight for both sides. This should be as close as it gets, so that means everybody's gonna go all out for pushing power during the prep event, and of course the war event will be very fun. So this is going to be great for me because I have been saving a ton of stuff even from the last KvK. I made a video last time when I pushed, which was 2 KvKs ago basically now, and I saved every single item that is in the backpack. Since then I haven't used a single item. Now I do spend money, I buy packs. I don't buy thousands of dollars worth or anything a month, maybe a few $100 a month worth, of course, due to YouTube and making content and all that. So there is, of course, not all of this is free to play at all. I have gotten quite a few packs from the Fiesta event right now, but generally I buy the weekly deals, the monthly packs, and the special events, like the first 2 or 3 packs usually. I really rarely buy any of the $50 or $100 packs, almost never, to be honest, but I buy a lot of the smaller ones here and there when they make sense and they have high value. That being said, you can see that I have saved up a ton of gems, and the majority of these are from the Alliance rewards. So because I have so many whales in my alliance buying packs every day, I get a ton of this. Also, some of these are for sure from packs. I have 8,000 true gold ready. I also have a ton of stamina, which doesn't really come in handy, to be honest, for this event, but it comes in handy for some other event. I also have these true gold chests, which I will use and get shit from, but that's pretty much the normal. And 27 of these weekly card chests, which are very good value from the weekly pack. So this 355, so that's a very decent amount on top of everything else. Now, resource wise, you can see that I have a decent amount, especially bread and wood, 4 billion, almost 5, a billion stone, and a quarter billion iron. A good amount of gold also for research, and a hero XP, which I don't really need, but pet food as well for my pets. Now, speed up wise, you will see that I have a good amount here as well, and in speed up I have 218 days, a lot of soldier speed up, a lot of everything, you know, a good amount of everything. I would say over 300, maybe 350, 400 days of speed up if you don't count the soldier healing, which will be used more in like sword and stuff like that. But this is going to be, I would say, mostly used on stuff like research, but I won't use too many speed ups because we also have the True Gold Academy coming soon, which is a whole new research thing. So I will still do a lot of research and a decent amount of troop training because I still have a lot of troops that I need to catch up after transferring. Gear wise, my gear is of course going to be pushed. I am looking at making maybe 3 or 4 more red pieces of gear, so that's going to be my goal. And it's going to be, if you've seen my recent video regarding G4 heroes, which have just released on the server, it's going to be mostly cav gear so that I have the new combo, which is 60-40. So that's going to be interesting because I am of course going to max out these 2 heroes, so that's Arkar and Margot, and have a very decent garrison that way. Now, an overview of everything that I have here. Of course, a lot of lucky hero gear chests, a lot of random gear here. This is all chests. I haven't touched anything, I haven't opened anything, so I'm going to open it all on day 1 of KvK. So watch out for my next video if you want to see that. A lot of different events, challenger, mobilization, this precious keepsake, which is an illiterable. Like, we have the trial chest, so these are for the mystic trial, and I have, you know, 500 of each almost. These ones from Pan, with 718 in about, I guess, a month and a half, 2 months of saving, so pretty decent. Arena star chest from Roman, and you can see, you know, there's a lot of different things here. I have a lot of these as well saved up for pets, and a lot of custom hero widget chests. Not that many for a season 4 for G4 because I just started and I'm not buying the pack, which is really bad value, but there are going to be many good ways of getting more of these. But I am going to max out my Petra, I'm going to max out my Marlin, and I am going to max out my Sol for the 60-40 ratio that I was just talking about, as well as you can see so many other random items here for more gear. So that's for my red gear, some custom chests which I've not really been using at all, so they have a lot of them saved up. And then this skin, which I probably should activate now that I have it, so that my account gets the permanent buff. There we go. And here, masters wise, I have a ton of stuff saved up for them. I mean, it's pretty decent amounts, so 500 of these emblems. So I'm gonna look at maxing Cassia as much as possible. I've already pretty much fully maxed Valora and Pan, so I don't really care about Roman. Only one of the 2 skills that I care about, the rest I don't. And then Cassia, but also just make sure that you're prepared because the 5th master is coming in very soon, and I'm gonna make a video about that soon, so just stay tuned for how to prepare on that. And promotion medallion for pets, a lot of this here as well, like a lot of pet stuff. Common Train Mark. I don't have that much pet stuff, to be honest, but it's decent. Now, where the good juicy stuff is my charm design, my charm guide. I'm really ready to push a lot of charm and my gear here. So I have a lot of artisan vision, a lot of gilded thread, and a lot of these satin. So that's pretty decent. And 3000 forge hammer. I've been saving these for a very long time, as well as 46 mithril. And I am going to have a few more from the packs that were up there. But also there's no point saving these. I should be using them. I just save them for the fun factor of pushing all at the same time. But I'm going to be able to level up a lot of gear with this. And one of my biggest one is my 2300 hero shard, which is of course going to be mostly used on Alcar and Margot. And the rest I will save for G5 because they are amazing. So I'm going to wait also for the wheel to do anything on Rosa. But Alcar and Margot are very, very good hero, and I want them max most likely for this KvK. In general, I think I'm going to be able to push at least to 200 million power, maybe even a little bit further. We shall see exactly what happens. If you are interested, make sure to stay tuned. I'm going to make a great video showcasing every day a little bit of what I push and what it looks like, as well as the final result, and then most likely a video of the battle itself. I look forward to fighting against 1433 and having a good fight, no matter which side it goes. At least I'm just happy that we get a good matchmaking and something that looks pretty fair, which is going to be fun for both sides. So stay tuned for all those videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.